Hey, it's Brock here from Rock Hill Farms, and I made another long trip today to pick up a different style of grapple for my tractor, and you'll be seeing a lot about that in upcoming videos. But while I was here, the owner of the company gave me a tour of their plant and kind of showed me all the different products they have available. And in this video, we're going to get into exploring all those different tractor products and skid steer products. But I wanted to start off just by showing you some of the machining that they do here. So right now, this CNC machine is cutting out some tines for a grapple. These cuts right here are just to reduce the weight of the unit while still maintaining strength. I've talked in some other recent videos about how I try to support companies that manufacture products in America. And these are completely manufactured just a couple hours from me. So I really find that interesting, especially as someone who owns their own smaller scale manufacturing business. So all the raw materials come in the door right next to this machine, and everything's carved out of full sheets. And this is the remaining product that's left over, which is called a skeleton. The machines really do a nice job of using such a high percentage of the material. The parts you see here are the last thing cut out, and they go to a tree shear attachment. If I didn't mention at the beginning, the name of this company is Precision Manufacturing. And as you'll see in a minute, they make a wide variety of skid steer and tractor attachments, and we don't even get the opportunity to cover all of the products in this video. I got a chance to talk to a few of the guys working in the shop that day, and several of them have been there for a lot of years and seem to take some pride in what they're working on. This is one of the larger types of grapples that's being welded up here. These guys were just on their way to lunch as I was doing my walkthrough, so some of the tables aren't occupied right now. But this table right here has all of the parts for the next grapple that's going to be built there. And as we go on down this way, those are all tree shear attachments off to my right that are in process. Basically, everything you see in this video is already sold. Hey, it's Brock here with Rock Hill Farms, and I'm up at Precision Manufacturing to pick up an add-a-grapple, and this is the owner, Bill, and he's been nice enough to give me a little bit of a factory tour, and we're going to show you kind of their operation and some of the products they have to offer. So you want to tell them a little bit about the products you have available and your company?
Sure. Well, we manufacture mostly brush management products, tree shears, grapples. We also have Pallet Forks, bale spikes, and also some hydraulic add-on kits, diverter valve kits.
There's a lot of options out there for getting your third function hydraulics. They've got one of the least expensive and cleanest looking kits. And what really caught my eye about your company was the tree shears. That's kind of unique in the tractor market. So.
Yeah, it is, and that's actually how the company started in 1992. And it was a patented product. It was designed by a retired postal worker. We acquired the company, Precision Manufacturing did, in about the year 2000, and we put design work to it and really upgraded the product and expanded the product line where we've got probably 5 different tree shears now, 35 to 40 different grapples, grapple rigs, add-a-grapples.
You want to show us a couple different products?
Okay, sure. We also just recently redesigned this a little bit and made it so compact tractors could also use a tree shear. We call it the mini clip.
So I think, yeah, that would probably be the next most interesting thing people might be wondering. What's the smallest tractor that you can put a mini clip on?
Okay, so here are the requirements. We want you to have at least 1,200 pounds of lift capacity, and we want you to have 2,500 psi on your hydraulic pressure.
So a lot of the people, not all obviously, but a lot of people watching this have a tractor like mine at 2038, and that's going to run that.
That would run that, no problem. We've had 25 horsepower tractors running this before.
And what diameter of a limb can you cut with it?
The cutting capacity is 7 inches, but it's got a lot of other good features too. It manually telescopes for cutting limbs because it's got a 180-degree rotation, so it'll rotate so you can cut limbs, but it also telescopes so you can get an extra reach besides the reach of your loader. You can be getting an additional 6 foot, 7 foot, or 8 foot. So realistically, you can be cutting up 14, 15 feet high without any problem.
And so I do tractor work, small time jobs for a homeowner who doesn't have the equipment, and this is right in that alley. I'm not going to go into a yard and cut down a gigantic tree, but if they've got a couple limbs that are overhanging where they don't want them, this would be a lot safer than a ladder and a chainsaw.
Absolutely.
So let's go take a look at these add-a-grapples.
Okay, as I said, we started out, our product line was with tree shears, and the first product that we kind of got away from just tree shears was our add-a-grapple. Back in the year 2000, there was a lot more pinned on buckets and on your loader, and there was really nothing that could allow these tractor owners to have a grapple because it's too much trouble to take the bucket off with the pins. So we designed this that it's a bolt-on, what we call add-a-grapple, that will convert your bucket into a grapple bucket.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would like to have a grapple, but the price on any quality grapple, whether it's yours or another manufacturer, can be cost prohibitive or just for how much it's going to be used. So having a lower cost option.
For instance, this grapple back here is the one you're going to be taking home with you, and the retail on it is just right at $995. So you're able to get into a grapple for $1,000.
Yeah, that's pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
And then, so mine's a single because it's a smaller tractor. And then if you have a little bit bigger bucket, you're probably going to be looking at one of these double,
right,
or wider.
Yeah, the grapples are 27 inches wide, so you really need about a 60-inch bucket to be able to get 2 of the grapples.
So as we walk around here, it's kind of hard to show you all of their products because they're all sold, and that's a good problem to have. So is this the big mouth grapple?
This is part of our big mouth series. This is our 322. We also have one that's a little bit smaller. This one is 57 inches wide. We also have one that's 50 inches wide. So you cut a little weight down by having it a little bit smaller. But the big mouth, here's where it gets its name. Right there. That's in its class.
So that's what, 4 foot?
It's 48-inch opening.
That's all the opening you need. I mean, that's huge.
And you got to realize that's what determines how much material you can get inside a bucket, is how wide it opens. And
yeah, I feel like the width is less important because for a lot of things it can hang out the end, you know.
Absolutely.
As long as you've got the width to get around it.
Yep, that's right.
And these come with a kickstand so that they can be stored standing up.
That's right, yeah. And like all of our grapple rigs, well, almost all of them anyway, the cylinders are behind this plate of steel, so they're very well protected. We've got good hose management or behind this this rail here, so it's a real friendly grapple rig.
Would you say this is one of your most popular products, or?
It's becoming one of our more popular ones, yes.
Okay, so this would probably be about the right size for my tractor, right?
Yeah, 38 horsepower. Yeah, it only weighs 1,400 pounds, so.
Yeah. 1,400 pound grapple right here. They said this is 3/4 inch thick steel?
This is 3/4 inch high strength steel. It's our biggest one we make. It's 85 inch width. It's got subsoil points on the tips, concealed cylinders. The cylinders are behind this plate of steel. All the plumbing is very well protected behind it. And one of the biggest features, I think, is the opening. It's 73-inch opening.
Wow. You said, so you could grab a hay bale with this.
And very, very easily you could, yes.
And you said this really needs to go on a skid steer that's like 100 horsepower to be able to lift it and still lift what you're picking up.
That's right, yep. Well, skid steer or tractor too. We'll put tractor brackets on it as well. So.
This is the side view of that same grapple, and I would love to have shown one of them that was complete, but they didn't have one finished with the top rake on it. Basically, it's going to look pretty similar to the big mouth grapple. What you're seeing right now is a tree puller that's going to go on a skid steer or a bigger tractor and just rip a full tree out of the ground.
So this has got a little bit different look than everything else I've seen. What is this one for?
Okay, so this is a Pallet Fork add-a-grapple. And it's actually an adjustable Pallet Fork add-a-grapple. So what you do is you slide your forks into these slots. You've got outer slots or inner slots, so you have two different positions you can put your existing Pallet Forks. And you lock it into this bar and then tighten down the T-handle to get the slop out of it so it doesn't bounce around. But when I said adjustable, what that meant was there's actually 3 different positions that you can place this grapple. You can, where it's placed right now is in the middle, and more than likely you would use that for like brush. We have an upper, say you had just baled your field with hay bales, so you wanted to load those all up onto your hay wagon. You would put it up to here and it would have a 74-inch opening, so you can easily grab the bale. And then the lower adjustment is, for instance, if you were moving fence posts, building fence, and you wanted to have your posts on your Pallet Forks, this would hold them in place. It basically keeps the load from bouncing out. But we have other sizes. We have one that weighs, I believe it's 112 pounds. That'll go under your fork, so you can use that on subcompact tractors, no problem.
If you're interested in adding a grapple and you don't have third function hydraulics, Precision Manufacturing has a product for that, or a couple of them here. Do you want to tell us what we're looking at?
Okay, we call it the extra valve kit, and this particular one for your tractor and most of the compact and utility tractors will be 13 gallons per minute and under. And this bigger one is for up to 24 gallons per minute. But we sell more of these than these. And I'll show you the contents of it.
Sure.
So this is a valve we use in our extra valve kit. So what we are doing here is taking your existing circuit, like your tilt function, and splitting it so you get 2 circuits out of 1. So you bring your supply into these ports here. These 2 ports will go back out to your tilt function. If you're adding a grapple, you'll plumb your grapple hoses into the front of the valve. We include 12 different hydraulic fittings, which we think you're going to need. You may not need them all, but we include it in our kit so that you can manage your hoses real easily. And we also have a mounting system so that you can, if you want to mount it to your crossbar in the front of your tractor, or the way I prefer it, and it's personal preference, I mounted mine on my tractor on the loader arm because I wanted it up out of the way. I didn't want it in the front of the tractor because I handle a lot of brush and I didn't want the brush hitting it. But this would sandwich the loader arm, and the valve would just simply bolt onto the front of it. And then we also include the wiring harness. And they have Deutsch connectors on it. You just simply plug into the to the valve, and the other end will go to your switch assembly. So it would plug into your switch assembly like so, backwards, like that. And then this is the momentary switch, which will mount to your joystick. Okay, and this is the one I mentioned has the larger valve. As you can see, when you compare these two valves, this is the 24 gallon per minute valve, and this is the 13 gallon per minute valve. So considerable difference in size on them. But the contents are basically the same in here as they are for the smaller one.
All right, well, I really appreciate you giving me the tour, showing us your products. I've been wondering, what is that logo on your hat? I don't recognize that.
Oh, well, this is what's called the Rock Chalk Jayhawk, the national champions.
Yeah, and of course I'm giving him a hard time. I root for the Jayhawks myself. But I really do appreciate the walkthrough, and you know, if you guys haven't already, go on to Precision Manufacturing's your website, or you go to add-a-graples.com to see this,
Yeah,
right?
if you want to make a purchase of these products, Ag Folks does all of our direct sales, and it's www.agfolks.com.
Now, if I'm in a dealership and I'm buying a tractor and I'm getting some 0% financing, can I order one of your grapples and get it from the dealer?
Yes, yeah. Ag Folks is when we don't have a dealer in your area.
A lot of people, I don't think they realize how many options you have to buy direct from your dealer when you're buying the tractor. But other than that, agfolks.com. So I appreciate the tour. I appreciate you watching. I'll put some links to more of our videos over here, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks, Barbara.